Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we are taking a look at a hunter build that I actually at first didn't really even know if it was going to work, but it worked out and it actually really impressed me, so I kind of just had to show it off to you guys. This build that we're going to cover today has by far the most ability chaining in the game. Like, we have infinite melees, infinite grenades, infinite dodges, class abilities. It's all here, and it actually ends up being very viable in the end game. So if you're looking for a fun end game hunter build that has you pressing a lot of buttons, and I do mean a lot, you don't even need to shoot your weapons, to be honest, then you've come to the right place. With that said though, before we dive deeper into the video, if you're a viewer, you know what's coming. I would like you guys to subscribe to the channel. My goal is to hit 50,000 subscribers before the end of 2026, and I cannot do it without your help, the person watching this video. So I would really appreciate it if you did that. I also stream over on Twitch. I go live 3 to 4 times a week. So if you'd come say hi to me there, I would also really appreciate it. But this also isn't just a one-sided relationship. For this build and my other builds, I always include a dim link down in the description. That way you can take this build really easily. And there are also timestamps in every video. That way you can click anything that you're interested in and then find the exact information that you're looking for, whether you're returning to the video or you just want to skip to a specific part. All of that is down in the description for you. As for the last little bit though, if you are a consistent viewer, you're probably skipping past this part, but you should join my Discord. We've got about 200 of us in there, and I'm trying to grow a more tight-knit community over the next year, and I think the Discord is probably the best way to do that. So yeah, that's enough of the YouTube stuff. Now let's actually get into the Destiny 2 build side of this video. Starting us off, we have the exotic armor piece of choice, which is actually Lucky Raspberry. This chest piece reads, Arcbolt grenades have increased chaining capabilities and jolt targets hit. Damaging combatants with jolt or applying jolt to target grants additional Arcbolt grenade energy. So first, taking a look at how it improves our Arcbolt grenade. A default grenade with no exotic will hit up to 4 targets. When we equip Lucky Raspberry, the radius of the grenade gets bigger and we can now hit up to 5 targets with a single grenade. But the big benefit from this exotic is the grenade energy return on jolt damage and application. There is 2 components here. First, whenever we apply the jolt, so this can be from any source, by the way, we will get like 15% of our grenade back. But then when we trigger jolt by shooting or damaging a jolted enemy, we get about 8% of our grenade back. And these 2 effects can combine from one grenade, if you direct hit it, to get like 25% of your grenade back from one ability use. But also a very important aspect here is there is no cooldown on this grenade energy regeneration. If we apply jolt to 5 targets and trigger that jolt simultaneously, we do get like our entire grenade back pretty instantly. And like I mentioned, this is from any source, including weapons and our other abilities. Now that's about it for our exotic armor piece, Lucky Raspberry. And normally we'd go into weapons or exotic weapons, but we're going to skip that for now. Rather, I want us to take a look at the supplementary abilities in this build, which means taking a look at our subclass right now. So as you can see, we are on pure arc. Starting with our super, I found myself using a Gathering Storm the most. This super has pretty good single target damage, which is a weak area for this build without this super. For our class ability, we will be using Gambler's Dodge. This is so that we can refund our melee whenever we use it. As for what that melee is, we will be using Combination Blow. This melee does a ton of things for us, but we're going to show them off when we look at our first aspect rather than right now. The last ability we have is our grenade, which kind of has to be Arcbolt grenade, or our exotic wouldn't really work. But now moving on to our first aspect, and the one that synergizes with our melee option, Combination Blow, we will be using the popular Tempest Strike. This aspect says that while sliding, we can activate our melee to do an uppercut that spawns a wave of arc energy. This wave will damage and jolt enemies' hits, and looking at this in game, we can see this ability in action. But what we also want to see is the benefits that this gives us when paired with Combination Blow, and we can immediately see those too. First is that melee kills are going to refund our class ability. And then if we use our class ability, which gives us our melee back, we can see that each subsequent melee kill gives us 1 stack of Combination Blow up to ×3. At 3 stacks, this is a 400% damage boost, so our melee actually starts dealing a ton of damage, but it also does more than that. Kills will heal us, and the jolt damage will refund our grenade thanks to Lucky Raspberry. There is so much going on with this aspect alone, but it all feeds into each other and makes this ability very spammable, and it also compounds with our second aspect too. The second aspect we have chosen is Ascension. This aspect says that we can use our air move to propel ourselves upward and deal jolting damage around us while making us and other players amplify. In game, we can see how this aspect works. We jump, we use our air move, and we release effectively a jolting explosion. That jolt application and damage refunds our grenade, but this also counts as using a gambler's dodge, so we get our melee back too. So right now, we can use our grenade, which returns grenade energy, our melee, which returns grenade energy and fully recharges our class ability, and then also our class ability, which returns grenade and fully recharges our melee. Every single ability in this build recharges the other abilities in this build, and that makes them all very, very spammable. Now, to finish our subclass, we have Fragments. First is Spark of Resistance for the damage resist it offers. Second is Spark of Ions, so that arc debuffed kills give us Ionic Traces. Ionic Traces give us just a bit of all energy. Then Spark of Recharge, so that if our shields ever break, we get some ability energy back just in an instant. Then Spark of Focus, so that when we're sprinting, our class ability has a shorter cooldown. And then lastly, we use Spark of Beacons, which causes our arc special weapons to cause blinding explosions. Now, away from our subclass, we have our weapon options. And honestly, use whatever you want. I find myself really only wanting to recommend Saya Eterna or a special weapon with jolting feedback, or Volt Shot. These are perks that will jolt enemies after dealing weapon damage, which means they're going to directly refund your grenade, and your grenade refunds everything else. It just allows for more ability spam. But you don't need any specific weapon. You don't even need to jolt with your weapons. You can use whatever, because the ability side of this build and our exotic armor piece carries all the looping and a majority of the damage. So yeah, use a sword or whatever exotic you want. But now we got to talk armor. First, we have the stats. The main one is that we want high grenade so that our most spammed ability does more damage and comes back as fast as possible. Then we can get pretty high super just so that it's on a low cooldown, and if you're above 100, it does a bit more damage. Then next, we want class and melee so that whenever we attempt to refund those abilities, we actually get the full thing. Outside of that, health and weapons are pretty meh. And on another note, this build uses no necessary armor set bonuses. You can just use the passive ones or whatever you got. Continuing with armor though, we now have the armor mods. On the helmet, we run an arc siphon, a special finder, and a special scout. On the arms, we use a heavy-handed and a firepower so that our melee and grenade kills make orbs, and then a bolstering detonation so that grenade damage refunds class energy. Our chest piece gets resists. Our legs get a recuperation for health on orb pickup, and then an insulation and absolution for some slight ability refund on orb pickup too. And then lastly, our class item runs my favorite, powerful attraction to suck up orbs when ascending or dodging, a special finisher to make ammo, and then a proximity ward to become truly invincible when actually doing that finisher. Now, before we hit the last topic, we have our artifacts, and within, we mainly only benefit from just two. First is Elemental Siphon, which causes our rocket pulse to sometimes make Ionic Traces, and then the second one, and really the only one that I care about in the artifact, is Dielectric, which will cause us to heal, make orbs, and get bolt charge stacks just from defeating jolted enemies. But now to end this video off, to bring us to a T, we've got the gameplay loop, which is actually pretty simple today. When we start an engagement, usually the first enemy group that you see, you're gonna wanna chuck an arc bolt grenade. You can then immediately either Tempest Strike or ascend near them to get the rest of your grenade back and do more damage to the enemies, likely killing them. Either works, as when you use your third ability, it's going to refund whichever one you used second. Tempest Strike refunds Ascension, Ascension refunds Tempest Strike, and everything refunds Arc Bolt Grenade. The main goal for this build is to just keep spamming abilities. As you score kills with Tempest Strike, it's going to heal you, and then it'll deal more damage with each kill, allowing your melee to take out even beefy enemies. Your Arc Bolt Grenade and Ascension spam are more than enough to clear adds, giving this build lots of flexibility. You also have your super and weapons to use when a boss or a particularly beefy target appears. Gathering Storm really does do a lot of damage, so use that on bosses or those high threat targets. If you ever drop the loop though, as it can happen, you miss a melee or the jolt doesn't give you your grenade back, you can use your weapons until you get any one of your three abilities back, and like we explained, everything refunds everything. So just spam those abilities. And yeah, that's about it. click buttons nonstop until whatever activity you're playing is done, because you can just click buttons to win. But with that, thank you for getting this far into the video. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Again, I'm trying to get to 50K by the end of the year. It's gonna be tough. Destiny's in a rut, but you know, considering the amount of you that aren't subscribed, I know I can make it. Also, do recall that there is a dim link down in the description. That way, if you've gotten this far into the video, you can easily just grab the build for yourself. Now, if you want to support me, a like, a comment, a subscription, joining my Discord, coming say hi to me on Twitch, where I stream 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm probably streaming right now. Also hyping the video if you're on mobile. All of that stuff helps me out a ton, so you should do it, maybe. Thank you. But if you want to support me and support the channel, if you can't think of a comment, then comment down below Destiny 3, because I want it, and you probably want it too. But with that, as usual, I hope you are having a really great day, and I hope to see you around.